Hey you guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey, back with another video. So, I wanted to focus on the topic of signs and synchronicities and why one should truly take heed to those signs. Because after all, the signs are popping up for a reason. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and just jump right in. Signs and synchronicities, they can come to us in so many different forms, whether it may be through nature, it may be through dreams and visions. What you see in your day-to-day, whether it's on television or your computer screen, cell phones, may come in the form of certain music tunes. It's this spiritual space, you know, as far as within the earthly plane as well as beyond in the ethers. It's an amazing, amazing thing. When you actually see how it all works, how it all comes together. You may find yourself being drawn to certain groups or certain plants or certain animals, or you might see a pattern where those certain species, like animals, whether it's birds of various kinds, dogs or cats, squirrels, you name it, you might see a pattern where you start noticing that they're being more drawn to you. Can't help but wonder, why is that? There's a deeper meaning behind it, of course. And if you're not one who has taken time to delve deep into knowing what could be the reason behind it, of course you're not going to know about it. You know, let's talk about songs as an example. Have you ever encountered a moment where all of a sudden you start thinking about a certain song, a certain tune? That was what I was about to say, a certain tune. Or maybe you kind of go about your day to day and all of a sudden this song starts playing on your mind. You're like, what is that about? Like, why did I just randomly start thinking about this song? Or maybe you wake up one morning and all of a sudden there's this song that you never knew existed, but you did some research and found out that it does, and that it was created at a time when you were not even born. Or have you ever had any instances where you found yourself now drawn to a certain music genre that you've never been drawn to before, or a particular band that you've heard about but didn't know too much about, and all of a sudden you're drawn to their music? That's not a coincidence, you guys. It's time to wake up. I'll use myself as an example. I'm a millennial, okay? So I was actually born in the 80s. But, I found it that I have a true love for that type of music of that time. I feel like the 80s and 90s was like, and maybe the early 2000s, just maybe, were like the best decades when it came to some of the fun music, the hit music, if you will. But I also have a love for another music type as well. When I first became more aware of self, especially in recent years, and I started to piece things together, I found it that when it came down to music, I was being drawn to a certain music type now. It's just out of the clear blue. It's so bizarre. Then I was being drawn to certain bands that I never knew existed, and their music. I'll give you some ideas. Like this one particular band, which I knew existed, but I didn't really think too much of before until recently, was Journey. There's another one, Fleetwood Mac. What was that other band? Oh my gosh, there's so many of them that's running through my mind. I wish there was a way I could just pull up my playlist and give you guys a rundown. I should have brought my laptop with me. But I've downloaded quite a bit of their music, and it's so interesting how that works, because you're thinking to yourself, like, I never knew much about these songs, and why is it all being presented to me now? That was my initial thought when I started noticing the shift there. And then I was able to piece it together. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm very much aware of why these certain things were revealed to me. And I just start grinning when I think about it because I know why this is all happening. And I can't speak too much on it, but just know that I know. And it definitely opened my eyes up quite a bit in terms of my music selection. Let's put it that way. It's just crazy. I think the part that's so telling is because for some reason, some of these songs, let's just reword this. Have you ever encountered a scenario where you listen to a certain song and maybe you listen to the vocals on it, or you listen to the instrument being played on it? Somehow it feels like that hit your core, like it hit you differently. Yeah, it's like, you know, you listen to music one way, but if you really listen to the point you feel it. Does that make sense? I'm trying to think of a way to word it. It's like you can feel the emotion. Yes, that's it. Thank you. You can feel the emotion behind the individual who was playing that certain instrument, or who was singing that certain line, or several lines in the song. It hits your core different. That's what I noticed with me when I started listening to some of these groups. Oh, the other group I was thinking of was Thin Lizzy. I think his name is Thin Lizzy. I never even knew they existed until all of a sudden I'm being shown signs, and I came across one of their songs. I'm just like, what is this? And then I listened to one of their songs. I think it's called When the Sun Goes Down, or something like that. That's a really good song. You guys should check it out, listen to it. But I say all this to say, a lot of these songs were made even before I was brought into existence for this lifetime. So I'm just like, where's all this coming from? That was my initial thought when I was wondering, where is all this coming from? And I'm loving every minute of them, downloading these songs, adding them to my playlist. I'm like, I'm all for it. But I say all this to say, me being more aware of what's happening here, I know why all of this is being revealed. It's funny, but I'm loving every moment of it. I really am. So I've also had instances where, and this happens literally every morning or every other morning at least, where I will wake up and all of a sudden there's this tune that is playing in my mind, and I'm just like, where is this coming from? So normally when I encounter that, what I would typically do, I would then just go ahead and go search online and actually look up the lyrics of the song, because believe it or not, you guys, that's the way that the spiritual space is trying to connect with us in ways to get the message over to us, or to help you to become more aware of what's getting ready to come, whether it's good or if it's something that could be avoided. It's just, that's their way of trying to communicate with us. I mean, they do so in so many different ways than what we see with the physical eye, but they also do it in terms of what we hear or what we pick up in terms of our third eye. So oftentimes, as I mentioned, I would go and look up the lyrics on a certain song, and I'm like, you guys are good. But of course, it's the spiritual space, they're good. They're immaculate when it comes to their methods of getting the message to us. But oftentimes, when I've encountered that, I wake up in the morning, hear a certain song or tune, I'm like, I remember hearing that song or tune, or a lot of times it's like I've never heard of it. And I would just go look up the lyrics, and I'm like, oh, that's why you guys did that. And then of course I'll thank them for it. And then oftentimes what I would do is I would download the song, because it was meant for me to see it, hear it, or even speak on it for that matter. Yeah, so I say all that to say, when it comes to the signs of synchronicity, such as like even with songs, you guys, don't write it off as just as a coincidence, because it's not. Really slow down, and you don't have to go at a snail's pace per se, but just really slow down and try to take heed to it and know that it's being revealed to you for a reason, without a doubt. Same can be said about movies. A lot of times, like what's being shown in the films it's true. It's very true. Especially in regards to the spiritual space. There's some truth behind it. There is some false details, not so much. You just have to know how to discern and figure it out for yourself. And if you have questions, reach out to people who you know that are more spiritually inclined that can tell you like, oh, that's fake, or oh, that's true. I made a statement about this in a previous video, one of my earlier videos, how in some of these movies, in a way, they are telling us about their knowledge in terms of the spiritual space. And people need to start paying attention to it and understanding that it's real. It's real. But yeah, definitely don't write the signs and synchronicities off as just a coincidence, as something that just randomly happened. Because it's not just a random occurrence. It's all happening for a reason. Do you know that? Oh, nose is itching. Okay. So, what are you guys' thoughts about that when it comes to the various signs and synchronicities that we see in our day-to-day? Is this something we should write off as a coincidence? Or do we need to embrace the fact that it's real and it's happening for a reason? I'd like to hear what you guys think about it. You know, definitely don't hesitate to leave your comments in the comment section below, or continue to message me on the other platforms as well. Email is completely fine as well. Some of you guys do prefer that, and I definitely don't mind it at all. I do read the emails and respond back as well. Consultations are still open, so if you are interested, definitely don't hesitate to take advantage of the opportunity. I was going to say also that Thursday and Friday of this upcoming week, I will not be taking consultation appointments. So, because I'm actually working on another project, and I gotta continue to focus on that too, so I want to balance it out. But you guys will become aware of it when we get closer. But in the meantime, any of the other days during the week is pretty open. So definitely take advantage if it is of interest to you. As always, I am definitely sending you guys with love and light, and I will see you in the next video. Be blessed.